Good evening and welcome once again to Connecticut Basketball Spaces. UConn 86, BYU 84. For those of you listening on Spotify, we did 5 minutes of the space and I realized it wasn't recording. So the basic summary is Silas DeMurray was awesome, 21 points. Terrace Reed was dominant in the paint with 21 points. And Alex Karaban in his homecoming game with 21 points as well. Bring Mr. Hotballs in here in a moment. Great night in Boston. Great seeing all the folks up here I remember how much energy there was in the building for the East Regional in 2024 and how just loud and intense the building was. Tonight was every bit as intense, and it was by far the closest basketball game, hot balls, that we've ever seen in that building. So that was kind of a new experience for me. As he's bombing down the Massachusetts Turnpike.
This rain is getting worse and worse and worse. It's wild.
It's almost as bad as my hosting.
Yeah, I'm going west, and then it'll all work out. And then I looked at the radar just as we were reloading the space, and it was like, nah, you're fucked, buddy. And it is getting progressively worse. I mean, it's a monsoon. It's raining cats and dogs.
Well, if you want to mute so you don't die, feel free. I've got folks in the queue, some of our reliable folks. I'll bring them in if they want to carry it for a little bit. Please be careful. First, I'll bring in the man who was most concerned about the fact that there was an NBA court on the floor tonight in Boston. No escalators, great win.
So is the rain inside of Hotball's car? Because he sounds like he's in a submarine.
It's fucking terrible, dude. I'm not even kidding. It's just really bad. It's
Like,
everywhere.
I'm not saying you guys have the best audio quality I've ever heard in a podcast, but
No.
God bless the people who are going to listen to this tomorrow.
Yeah, I just hope he doesn't drown during the space. Listen, no escalators. That NBA line was enticing tonight, but UConn ends up surviving, having to see the long line. They shoot 8 for 18 from 3 tonight, which is
Yeah,
pretty good.
it's going to be a problem for my bits because I guess in the best case scenario, Alex Caravan has taken it as a personal affront and challenge to take more and more threes from further and further away and actually hit them, which is what he did tonight. So shut me up pretty good.
Yeah, that's by far the meanest thing anyone said about Alex Caravan on a Connecticut basketball space. How excited were you, though, to see it? Because I know this was a thing for you. We spent all off season. You're excited for Silas and you believe in it, right? You think it's going to work. But then you have to, tonight's the night where you find out, is it going to work or not? And tonight, it worked.
Yeah, he's awesome. It was awesome. Everything about it was awesome. I feel so good coming out of the whole night. Obviously, you would have liked the last 10 minutes to hold on to, winning by 20 would have been amazing. That would have been even more hilarious than things were, but the product works. We got Silas. Silas is really good. Silas is exactly what they needed. This is now a team that has taken down a top 10 opponent where both of us were admittedly banged up and BYU lost somebody very important 15 minutes into the game, but we didn't have Braylon Mullins. You saw two awesome teams tonight. We were better for 30 of the 40 minutes, and we were better for the full 40 if you look at the final score. And I think this win is going to age very well because, Jesus, DeBonsa is everything people thought he would be. At least he was in the second half. And just super excited to see where things go from here because I think they are good. And I think we are really fucking good.
Yeah, and UConn obviously has a lot of other ones coming up like this, but it's the sort of, when you get down to the comparing hopefully the top lines, this is the sort of the pin to the top of the resume win. Now, hopefully they get one on Wednesday and maybe out at Kansas, and they've got Florida and Illinois, but this is the one they've got. They've got this one to build off of going to Wednesday night, which is huge. They were defensively so good in the first half. I know that the thing we all remember is the last 10 minutes when it felt like the car was falling apart, but they were so good defensively and so intense. That was the biggest change for me from last year.
Look, I want Terrace to just, hopefully have like a little bit of a hurt bum and he's back, because he and Silas are 1-2 and the absolutely needed to be firing on all cylinders category. But they're great. And look, with the way that this conference looks, which is a fucking tire fire, you need to stack these out of conference wins. I think you have the order almost exactly backwards, by the way, because Florida might be in trouble, Kansas might be secretly a little bit garbage, and Illinois might be incredible.
That's fair. And we'll see what
we'll,
the situation is with Darren Peterson at that point.
Yeah, we'll see what this order looks like, but to stack these wins as we get them in these 6 games, going 4-2, 5-1. Look, I mean, if they go 6-0, then we can start talking about absolutely crazy shit, given how bad the rest of this league looks. But they have what they need, and it's extremely exciting. And after 3 games, it was like, okay, yeah, they're hanging on, they're doing what they need to do to see it tested, and this is real. We are back where we were 2 years ago. We are not where we were last year, and it feels really awesome. I don't know if I'm the one who has gone quiet or if the rest of this technologically inhibited spaces has gone quiet.
I'm good. I don't know what happened to Zach. You guys
Yeah, no, I got you. So it's the guy underwater and me right now.
There you go. Aren't you lucky to be in this submarine?
Well, let's hear it. You got to feel great, right? Like this is.
I feel really good about where we're at. I came away like, I think it's really easy to sort of get caught up in the last couple minutes of the game. I think it was kind of a confluence of a couple of different events here. This kind of led to that. And I'd rather not. Oh my goodness, this is a car crash. Holy shit. Sorry, guys.
No, look, and
went through a 10-car pile up here.
On the last couple minutes, like they had a dude who's 25 who went nuts and couldn't miss, and they had a guy who was going to be an NBA All-Star in 3 years look like an NBA All-Star tonight, and they got close, and that's why it's nice to go up by 20, because you can go up by 20 and then take that and you win by 2, and that's what they did. And like, great. You're not going to kill everybody by 100 points as much as we would like to, even in that building, as we did against Illinois. And like they ruined a wonderful joke I had pre-written when they lost the lead. But whatever. I'm so excited to see what comes next.
Yeah, it's not a beauty contest, so you take it however you get it.
Jesus, did you move into a fucking submarine?
I know. This fucking website is so broken. I'm sorry. Okay, I've got Hoppo's as co-host. All right, thank you, Noah Escalators. Appreciate you, as always. I'm hoping it sounds a little less like a submarine at this point because I turned the microphone off.
Little less like a submarine. I'm going to be in the submarine all night. It's just the nature of the beast. I'll be out of this shit, guys, in about half hour. I'm breaking a lot of speeding.
No, it's like we're Jesus Christ. Sorry, hold on.
It's awesome. Technology.
There we go. I think I sorted that. Sorry. Yeah, it's like we're documenting.
Now we're good. We got it all figured out. There's nobody that knows technology better than us. You lucky bastards.
I like thinking that
I'm taking my life into my hands to do a show for you guys, so you can fucking put up with it, all right?
I like that No Escalators was just like fucking done with these two clowns. I don't blame him in the least. He's far too refined for this shitty show, but I appreciate his contributions. I'm going to bring in Jake Fenner next, because I know Jake was in the building and was covering the event. I've tried to add Jake. Let's see if this actually works. Let's see if Elon managed to not break his own website for the 5,000th time. Jake, good evening.
Good evening. Just got off of the most rain-soaked Stower Drive I think I've ever seen. I I will soon be joining Hot Balls in the submarine. I'm just about to turn onto the pike. And with that knowledge, I'll try and be short-winded. I'm a little bit long-winded at times. I'm aware of that.
Never.
I know.
Never, Jake.
Right?
Never said too much in your life.
Thank you, Mr. Hot Balls. I appreciate that. Alex's best shooting night possibly ever. That 1 3 that he hit, I want to say it was his final 3. The one where he was like a solid step and a half to 2 steps behind the NBA line and he still laced it was deeply great and confusing. Jaden Ross can still hit threes, apparently. Fantastic. He should keep that up. I think just honestly my biggest takeaway was, and this is going to suck, but DeBonsa, to start your night off 1 for 8 and then finish your evening going 7 for 8 in the second half and scoring 21 points is fantastic. Like that right there kind of shows you like why the kid might be special. In the press conference after, Dan had a lot of praise for him, said that he chatted with him after the game as they were going to the tunnel, and he essentially was saying, like, I admire the kid's growth. Earlier in the season, he was having some defensive troubles, was sagging off on assignments, and now he's doing a lot better. And he looked pretty solid defensively tonight. And then when AJ and BYU came in, I ended up asking AJ, it was like, listen, you're going to bump into a bunch more hostile arenas than this. And I say that because it was like, what? It was like a 65-35 split, maybe, between UConn and BYU fans. I was like, you're going to go to Lubbock.
Now where we were sitting, it's kind of like 85-15 from where we were sitting.
I was trying to take, like they had some good population in the 300s. But I was like, listen, you're going to go to Lawrence, and you're going to go to Lubbock, and you're going to go to Houston, and those are going to be some, like, intense barns you're going to be in. Like, what did you take away from this? And it was just essentially like saying, can't let it get to you. And that first half, it really looked like it got to him. But all credit to him to be able to pull that second half performance out of it. I think the two biggest things that confused me the most about why the lead was able to get that short. BYU only went on a 27-15 run between the moment where they went into the double bonus and the end of the game. So getting outscored by 12 sucks. Doesn't mean you should have only won by 2 when you were up 20 at one point. That was a bit confusing. The other thing, I know there was a lot of complaints about officials. I can agree with that in a way, but not necessarily for the way that you think. I think some of the fouls were like refs are going to miss calls, and there was a really bad miss. I want to say it was on Jaden. It was called on Jaden, and he got called for a block, and it was no universe is that a blocking foul. The thing that really drove me up the wall was the lack of calls for offensive fouls for both sides. But BYU, I think there was a play where Saunders scored a bucket, and it really looked like he pushed off with his elbow and didn't call it. There were a couple of times where people ran into, like, not even screens, just off ball. Like, I think there was one time, I want to say it was DeBonsa, and it was either Solo or Silas that he collided with and just tumbled to the floor. And then on the other end, at least, there was a shot that Silas had where it kind of looked to me like he pushed off. So thought it was a little bit weird to be calling like every ounce of contact for a defensive foul and not try to balance that out with the offense. So like Hurley Mania said, this is going to be one of those those like resume boosters when it comes to like deciding who's a 1 seed and who's a 2 seed. So I think UConn's going to take this with some positives and some things to work on, and then you go against Koa Pete on Wednesday and you see how things go from there.
Yeah, and hopefully I sound less like a submarine now.
You do.
Okay,
You're fine.
That's good. Thank you. I moved the microphone, so sorry for everyone having to deal with that. Yeah, he's a great player, but it's the SGA playbook. He the way he plays, and he can do this with his size, he just goes into guys, and he doesn't really fling his head back directly, but he initiates all the contact, and he's just going to get the fouls in terms of AJ, and it's, to his credit, he's about 6 months from playing in a league where that's a normal thing. It can be hard to watch, but yeah, I didn't think the whistles were that bad tonight. We have to remember this is a UConn team that fouls a lot, and Dan wasn't really going nuclear over any of the calls. It's just kind of what it is, and what they had to get through was having Jaden Ross, who had a really, really good night, but he fouled out. Jalen Stewart had 4 fouls. Malachi Smith wildly had 3, and so UConn wasn't really in foul trouble, but the guys that got in foul trouble were mostly the guys in charge of guarding AJ DeBanza. So the good news for UConn is they are not really going to face somebody quite like that. If Darren Peterson plays at Allen Fieldhouse, that's a huge challenge, but it's a different kind of player. You know, it's actually a much larger share of the offense, but he's not a 6'9" freak show wing who can play like almost any position. So it's a win that's going to age incredibly well. That's going to be a really, really good BYU team this year in the Big 12. And I also thought they threw some stuff at UConn, especially earlier in the first half, that was a reminder that Kevin Young, before he suddenly lost his mind with the coaching box, he's got a lot of that NBA background defensively. They were throwing a 1-2-2 press at UConn. And I was impressed with how easily UConn broke it in the first half. In the second half, they ran into some issues with it, but then late they were able to break it. And so that's something now that UConn's experienced in game against the high-end team. So that's another thing they don't have to worry about, because hot balls last year, if you pressured this UConn team on ball, it was scary time.
Yeah.
And now it's a little less scary.
Yeah, I mean, I thought all things considered, this is a game we totally would have folded up like a deck chair and lost last year. And, so look, I mean, I'm looking at the extended growth here. I thought, they threw a ton of different looks at us. We adjusted to a lot of it. And like I said, I'm not taking a ton away from the last 10 minutes of that game. And, did we defend well? Did we not defend well? They had to it couldn't be as in their shirt as they wanted to be the last 10 minutes. They had too many guys in foul trouble. They were in, bonus, double bonus. Like, it just changes the way you got to play. And as soon as it shifted, it started to shift in their favor. And that's the way that matchups like this, when you got a team that's a little bit more foul prone and a team that really thrives off of getting to the charity stripe, that's how these kind of games go. But, again, all things considered, I thought they did a really good job of adapting to a lot of different looks tonight. Like, I came away tonight feeling so much better about so many specific little nooks and crannies of this roster than I felt, say, a week ago with where they're at. So, again, you take these top 10 wins, and you put them in your pocket, and you smile, and you move on to the next.
Yeah, and it's a really a lot you could take from that sort of performance, especially because they had to endure it. And I thought the first half is what I take more from, because we weren't going to know until they played a high-end opponent, and it looked sensational in the first half. BYU. The other thing about the second half, I thought UConn defended a lot of the shots pretty well. They just had an elite player hitting shots. Like, the foul shots thing is annoying.
They had a couple kamikaze threes. There was three shots specifically that they guarded it fine. They just made the shot.
Yeah, it's a make or miss sport. I mean, they were right. They were as in his shirt as they could be at that point with the fouls, and he just went nuclear. But a couple of players caught our eye. Richie Saunders was impressive for them, but he also went 0 for 7 from 3. The little guard. UConn shut him down. He goes 0 for 7 from 3. Boscovich goes 0 for 5 from 3. So those two guys, if you just take their numbers out, it's an 8 for 14 night from 3 for BYU. But those two guys just could not hit a 3. Whereas, DeBansa goes 2 for 3 from 3. Baker gives them a lot off the bench, and that's something they're going to need to do because there are certain honor code violation issues that they are now going through. And our new personal favorite, Xavier Staten, number 33, who 7 minutes.
What a specimen
2
of a
rebounds.
human being. An absolute specimen. Timu, Charlie Villanueva. Maybe my new favorite basketball player. He's got to meet Charlie. We should have given him a toilet as a visiting present, guest of honor.
And the other huge storyline from the game on the BYU side was the Kaida injury, which totally, it was the first half when Terrace was taking over, they were just hanging off him, and Terrace showed a level of intensity, hot balls, I don't think we've seen. He was screaming at the BYU bench. They were hanging all over him. And then Kaida goes down, and it did not look good. It looked like he banged his head hard on the parquet, and that was a huge difference for BYU. And give them credit that, suddenly you thought Terrace was maybe going to go for 30, but they were able to kind of rescue the ship a little bit. But that was a guy I was worried about coming in, and then he's out of the game, and BYU adjusts. So that's going to be a really good team, but it's a great win for UConn, and really proud with the effort they got tonight out of pretty much everyone. The other thing, hot balls, is for all the discussion from the 3 bye games about the depth of the rotation, 8 players tonight. That's the real rotation, people. I love Dwayne Karoma. I love what we've gotten out of him and Alec Millender. I don't think you're going to see a ton of them in this stretch of the schedule.
Yeah, they're going to shorten the rotation up. Nobody's going to play 10, 11 deep. Sorry. Not going to happen unless you have to. And if they're going that deep, it's usually because things are probably not going very well in a particular facet. So, yeah, I think we saw the rotation tonight. What do you think of Dan's rotations in the second half? Because starters looked a little tired.
Yeah, this tonight was a little bit of less so Furphy, but the lack of Braylon Mullins thing was just everybody's playing a lot more minutes than they would, because it was an 8-man rotation tonight. Period 8, not the token guy who plays 2 minutes. Eric Ryba played 6. Everybody else played double-digit minutes. I don't think the rotation's going to be quite that tight once they get Braylon Mullins back. That's another body, and then you distribute the minutes down for everyone else. Furphy is healthy, but I don't know how much he's going to play in these games, to be perfectly honest. It was a tight rotation, but also the other thing Dan did was when things were going sideways, Dan wasn't calling a million timeouts. You said this, you loved that he was just letting them figure their shit out. They've got to figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think, and we talked about this a lot tonight. I must have had this conversation with 3 or 4 different people, but, I'm going to be interested as the year goes along with this team. The 23 team really kind of took on the personality of Andre Jackson. The 24 team really kind of took on the personality of Cam Spencer. There was always sort of that emotional, almost sort of like energy buoy on the roster. And who's that guy gonna be on this roster, right? Who is gonna be the guy that kind of drags guys to a certain level of performance? And there's also just sort of this thing where, there just comes a point where these guys have got to learn their way through really difficult situations. And look, I mean, Dan didn't get too timeout happy tonight. And I thought, all things considered, they responded really well. It's interesting is that game got down the last 5 minutes. The sheer just volume of looks that BYU threw at them, and sort of Dan's willingness to just sort of leave them in the deep end and be like, figure it out, guys. That's the kind of stuff that I really like, and that's what's really going to help them in a lot of these games coming forward, because I don't think this is going to be the last situation where we're going to be in a very close game coming down the stretch.
Yeah, and it was great to see them have that.
If I could quickly throw out a suggestion for who this team might take on personality wise. Hurley Mania, I love being right, and I love being first. I think the person to lead the team personality wise, if not by scoring, is Silas Demery Jr. Played like an absolute dog this evening. I think what was very clearly missing from the team last year was the willingness to go into the paint and draw contact and just try to throw something up at the rim. It looked like a lot of guys on the team last season who weren't able to do that. Silas does that. He does it really well. Like, to take a guy that can score at all three levels, make him a little bit taller than some of the guys that this UConn team had last year, and then give him some praise. He had a really solid stat line tonight. I know there were 3 guys that finished with 21 points. Silas's 21 points seemed to be, I won't say more clutch than the other 2. That's a ridiculous statement. But it seemed like those were, like, after all of the shit that you heard from earlier in the week about his relationship with Dan and all of that, to come out on an NBA court and put up 21 points and do so, like, kind of dragging the team along with you and keeping everybody in check, in lock, I think that's your guy. I think that's your personality guy this year. He had that at Georgia. He's starting to show it here at UConn. I think he's your guy for personality and bringing the team along with him.
Yeah, and it's a credit to the other guys who are here that they're willing to defer to him so much. But to Hotballs, to your point, like, this is a team loaded with guys who have been here for a few years. I think that's part of the figure it out shit. Like, Jalen and Jaden and Solo fucking figure it out. And tonight is why you want a big boy guard. The missing piece last year was the dominant, like, takeover shit point guard, a guy physically built to handle games against huge dudes like this. And tonight showed the fucking value of a guy like Silas Demery Jr., where he can take it over, but also Dan telling the other guys, this is the guy you get. I got you the piece. Figure it the fuck out. So,
well, yeah, I mean, I think the other thing is last year too. I mean, in addition to having 0 guard depth, no physicality on the perimeter, and anybody that could guard like a bird bath, the one thing they really lacked on offense was a release valve, and Dan's talked about this a lot, where, like, you know, the offense would, like, break down and everybody's brain would break. And you just didn't have that guy. And I just think we like to carry the offense late into the shot clock anyways. I mean, we did the same thing in 23 and 24. But, like, back then, you know, you had a guy that could go out there and go get that bucket and just kind of, you know, be the basketball player making the basketball play, get to the rim, steal you some points late in the shot clock. And, you know, now they got a guy that can go and do that. And I think it's really going to, you know, it's already made a significant difference. But just, I mean, with Silas in general, first of all, I wouldn't even get carried away with that. That was one website that was, like, trying to put a rage bait piece together. Like, one place. I don't think anybody with a fucking brain really is worried about their relationship at all. And just in general, like, it's pretty noticeable how much farther along Silas is at this point than Tristan was when he walked in the door. I mean, I think it's significant. Significantly noticeable how much more comfortable he is in the offense. I definitely think there's definitely some areas that are pretty clunky. We're not really great on the lob plays yet. You know, some of the dumps haven't been too good either. But, like, it's just been, you know, overall, he's there to be a release valve, facilitator, creator. Is everything that they needed him to be tonight and more. And it's only going to get better. Like, I'm really going to be excited to see what this team looks like come January. And I'm going to be really excited to see what they're going to look like when they get another shooter. I mean, we have a 5-star that's not even playing right now. Like, that's the thing. So, and look, again, you take out the last couple of minutes of that about the BYU game tonight, like, they pretty comfortably were managing that game, and they did the same thing to Michigan State. That's another top 25 team. You know, so you get that extra shooter and that extra piece, it's only going to continue to look better. I'm very pleased with where he's at right now.
UConn, by the way, currently at 42% on free throw rate, top 100 in the country. They were not top 100 in free throw rate in the back-to-back years. So you got 3 bye games in there, but also tonight, this is a team that their biggest weakness offensively was they could not get to the line, get in the paint. So far, it feels like they've come a long way on that. I want to bring in Jaden Daly, who's been very patient. I know that Jaden has a deadline to meet and was in Boston. I would love, Jaden, to get your thoughts.
Well, you really don't have a deadline when you're your own boss, but I'd like to get this shit out of here before I go to sleep. Anyway, greetings from the Pennyweight Hotel around the corner from TD Garden. I got caught in the monsoon for about 3 minutes, so at least I'm not fighting for my fucking life like hot balls. How we doing over there on 90, by the way?
Swimming his way home.
Trying not to die. Trying not to die. Actually, the rain has gone away. We're
good.
safe. I'm getting 291. We're in the home stretch.
Hot balls, where are you at on 90 right now?
I'm getting off in Ludlow.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm still in Framingham. I just wanted to know how bad it's going to be when I'm getting there. Sorry, Jaden. Go right ahead.
Okay.
Lovely. Looking forward to it.
First things first, shout out to Husky Hops, who made his staff debut for me today at UNCG Austin P. So he had a little Carolina action to start our wall-to-wall day. Second, for my first in-person look at UConn, for 28 minutes they looked great. Then when Sermons and Chiazza wouldn't want to call an offensive foul either way, and Jake touched on this. Jake also beat me to the punch on the Silas Demery take. We both shared that, and he told me earlier that he loved being right, which a lot of people in this space do, and with good reason. I liked what I saw from a few people, not so much from UConn not being able to play a complete game without, letting shit get out of hand in a stretch. But game 4, you really can't take too much out of that or read too much into it. All in all, against the top 10 team after 3 cupcakes, no offense to New Haven, UMass Lowell, or Columbia, I think overall you got what you wanted, what you asked for. You got your big 3. Jaden Ross played a very efficient game when you consider that Solo had his 4th foul from not too long after the U16 and sat for like 10 minutes. So Ross stabilizing alongside Silas, Tarras, and Alex was excellent to see. I liked what I saw from Ryba as the backup big when Dan gave Tarras the blow in the first half. He looked pretty good in and around the paint. And I like what this team can be going into Arizona. I think that's going to be an easier game when you consider that it's Gamble, and I don't know how that team is going to react to that environment. I think having this one right before that is going to make it even easier for UConn.
Yeah, $2 beer night Wednesday might be an unsafe scene, but that's also a huge test. I think Arizona's a better team than BYU, but it's very marginal at this point. It's gonna be a huge test to see. Now UConn's got to figure out Cole Pete, right? It's one 5-star freshman after another as the schedule comes up, but that is also home inside Gamble. So I think tonight's gonna serve them incredibly well just for Wednesday night, if nothing else. And you want to go 6-0, right? You want to win all the games, but if UConn can get through these big non-conference games at 4-2, they're going to be fine.
Yeah, I think if you lose the 2, I think Florida could go either way, and then either of the Arizona or Kansas games, I think Kansas would probably be more of a loss, potential loss in Arizona just because it's a road game in a motherfucker of an environment. So, and if it's without Peterson, then that can change. But 4-2 is probably going to be the barometer for this team. I like what it could be. I like the defense compared to what we all went through last year. For the first 20 minutes, I thought they had Debanza in hell. I was ready to say this kid's going to be the number one pick, and then he fucking played out of his mind in the second half. Although Ross's fifth foul was bullshit, at least from my vantage point, it was.
Yeah, I felt for Jaden on that one because he had a great night and
He got elbowed.
yeah, taken 2 for 4 from 3 from Jaden Ross. There you go. 4 for 6 from the field. With the Debanza matchup. Yeah, then he got elbowed, but got a rough whistle there. But I also think the way the schedule works out is that the hardest stretch seems to be on the front end of it because I don't know about Florida right now. Kansas I don't know about, but that's a road game. It's hard. Illinois looks terrifying, as does Arizona.
I was gonna say, man, of the non-con guys I've seen so far, Illinois looks legit. Like really legit. Like they've got high-level post play. All those Eastern European guards are a real handful. They got shot makers. I'm not even joking. We'll see how the season continues to progress, but they might be the toughest game on the schedule. I don't want to admit
that.
Yeah,
and I mean, for those of you who aren't going Wednesday night, that the game after Arizona UConn on FS1 is Alabama Illinois, so that will be interesting. Wednesday night to see that. That's a hell of a pair of games. Yeah, it's interesting how we knew there were 6 really good non-conference games. It's been funny how kind of things have balanced with once you start to see games and how teams look. Because Arizona's looked amazing, Illinois looked incredible, Florida's looked a little vulnerable, and tomorrow evening against Miami, I don't know. It's just that the Florida backcourt I have questions about as good as the front court is. But we'll see. And at Wednesday night, Jaden, are you going to be in the building Wednesday night?
No, weeknights at Gamble are always a rough spot for me, so that's going to be a Connor game. I will be in Philly. I'm going to be at LaSalle Villanova, so I get to see the remodeled Tom Dola Arena on Wednesday.
Nice. You get to see the 5th best team in the Big East by the fucking looks of it. Because holy shit.
My next one is Monday at the Palestra. I'm doing Penn St. Joe's.
Beautiful. Well, thank you, Jen. Thank you for your patience. Sorry, I know you were waiting to go. And
not a problem. Connor at the Mullins Center tomorrow. He's doing Central UMass in Amherst.
Oh, God. Central coming off a huge win over Boston College. So, a step down.
Best win of the year.
Step down in competition for them tomorrow. We'll see how they handle it. Thank you, Jaden. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Manhattan beat Mississippi Valley State in the Citgo game of the year. I'm going to leave you on that. And I love you guys. We'll pick it up again.
Delta Devils. Couple of brutal losses out in Hawaii. Thank you, Jaden. I'll go to Husky Hops next. Folks can keep requesting in. Let's see. I'll bring in Sam, who I saw tonight, and Disciple of Rock. But first, I'll go to the man at UNC Greensboro, Husky Hops. I'm not going to ask you about UNC Greensboro. I want to ask you about the UConn Huskies.
I was going to say, then you'd have to use the hashtag Let's Go Pete.
Yes, correct.
We could still do that, but anywho, yeah, greetings. Happy to be aboard Connecticut basketball 20,000 leagues under the sea spaces. This is a first.
Yep.
The nautical version of spaces.
Very exciting. We're innovation that excites here. I'm not going to lie. I kind of came into tonight a little bit nervous. Like BYU's got a legit starting 5, even though they kind of refused to go away from Debanza, as Jake has sort of alluded to. Like Rob Wright was really good at Baylor. Kepakita's a solid forward, even though he got knocked out of the game. Saunders is usually pretty solid from 3. So I didn't really like this game on paper, but all my fears were kind of assuaged in the first few minutes. And a big part of that was just that Silas has lived up to the billing tonight. Like this was really the coming out game for him. He brings that physical edge. He's got a nose for the basket and the passing. I mean, what did we finish with? 21 assists. And BYU, or should I say me, not you, had 7 assists.
Yeah, so BYU didn't record their first assist until about 3 minutes left in the first half. They finished with, I had it here. BYU finished with a grand total of 7 assists, as many as Silas DeMurray Jr. UConn finished with 21 assists on 30 field goals. So a lot of ISO ball for BYU. Not surprising, I guess, but like a lot of ISO ball. Like a lot. Their offense first half was non-existent. And credit to Kevin Young. They got some stuff rolling a little second half, but they hit a lot of tough shots too. So yeah, like seeing UConn really good moving the ball around. That was something Dan Hurley had. I think the thing he was most upset about in the New Haven game was the lack of assists because the lack of finishing at the rim. Want to note that tonight UConn only 13 of 21 on layups, which matched BYU. So UConn though did a good job finishing otherwise to get the 21 assists.
Yeah, and the other part that has been so impressive is the terrace leap is just, it jumps off the screen. Like, he's just playing on another level this year and really leaning into that, the bear from the Revenant that everyone has hyped him up to be, including Dan. So that's just really great to see. And yeah, I think I'm with Hot Balls on the end. It's like, the blown lead was a little bit self-inflicted, yeah, but I mean, they were chucking up prayers from 3 and they were all going in, and the Fox crew was losing their minds. I'm like, they're down by 10 points. Like, what are we doing? Then it got to 2 and it's like, okay, now I can be nervous. But yeah, other than that, I mean, that's just kind of how it wrapped up. And last thing for me, I think as a big takeaway I had tonight was we got to see practice Jaden Ross. I think finally, is this the coming out of practice Jaden Ross, at least as far as I can tell?
He's been really good so far. And the question is, could he put it together game after game after game? This is 3 straight games with a very positive offensive rating in the metrics. Finished with an offensive rating of 107 tonight. Back-to-back double-digit games for him. BYU is a little more impressive than Columbia. I'm most impressed with the fact that he is, now we're in a small sample size, but he is 5 for 11 from 3. And given how some of those threes looked in his previous seasons at the University of Connecticut, that is a massive leap forward if that is now a legitimate thing the teams have to guard on the perimeter.
Yeah, I think I just felt like I think he finished with 10 points, and a lot of that was the ticky-tack fouls a little bit, getting shoved. But, it felt like he finally, at least to me, kind of had, maybe not a full breakout game, but when you think about it, like Solo had, he's had his moments shooting threes. He had, Stewie at the Garden always seems to show out. So this just felt like the first step forward for him. So it's really just encouraging. I think it's a testament to, how hyped up and the recruiting class was, and now he gets that moment to step through and shine, and we were all right about that. Obviously, we never a doubt. As the title says,
hell yeah, it's Jaden Ross time. Proud of him. I'm also proud of Stewie, who I know the stat line isn't good, but like I thought defensively he did a whale of a job, and that's the big adjustment for Demanza too, because now you're being guarded by a dude that's like 4 years older than you and your size, and that's going to be the thing he's going to have to deal with, like in the Big 12. And tonight and in some of the marquee games. And that's what's going to be fascinating to watch. And to his credit, he adjusted in the second half once UConn got into the foul trouble. But that was what I think helped UConn in the first half build out the lead, was just having Stewie shut him down defensively because physically he couldn't deal with it.
yeah, I kind of like that.
Yeah, I thought Stewie was. No, go ahead. Stewie, I thought looked great in the first half defensively on the bench, and it's gonna be a thing for AJ. I mean, he's playing against men now, right? So, but look, man, I mean, Stewie just seems to have a penchant for stepping up defensively on big assignments, and that's really what we're going to need from him. And he's going to be the guy that's going to be in the starting lineup, or it's going to be Jaden. We've talked about it ad nauseum. Like, one of them needs to make a big step forward, and one of them has to impact a game, right? For things to go. I think you get kind of that next level for them this year. So, look, another big defensive assignment. Another big defensive performance from him.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Husky Hops, and also great to see your contributions with Daily Dose of Hoops down in the SoCon region. Go High Point. Appreciate all your coverage. Thanks, man. All right. We'll move it along to a member of the traveling brigade, Postradamus, who is in the building. I don't know how this is going to go. He won't sound as underwater as Hot Balls, but he might sound drunker. Let's find out together. Posty, how we doing?
Hey, yo.
And we're off.
Yeah, and we're off. Yeah, so I'm not underwater. I'm alive, apparently, to a lot of messages wondering if I was alive. But yes, I am here. My
Wow.
day started at about noon with Pittsburgh Zach watching UConn football, and I'm here. I don't know what else to tell
This
you.
entire space is going to be used in a court of law at some point for either Hot Balls.
This space should be in a museum, is what it should be.
Yeah. I mean, fuck. What am I else gonna say? I've got nothing.
Thank you, Posty. I'm going to move through the queue then, if you don't mind. But it was great seeing you. Hey, y'all, and
sweet dreams
I
in the
hope
bathtub.
I know I won't. I can't believe he's not sticking around for Wednesday night.
He's in mid-season form already, dude. It's like we're right there. Posty's back. Has no idea what state he's in.
As far as I'm concerned, he's raised the bar. That's the bar for the rest of you, ladies and gentlemen. November 15th, he's already there. Can you get there? Do you want it bad enough? He wants it bad enough. That was wonderful.
He contributed so much by contributing
really
absolutely nothing of value.
Somebody who I know had a wonderful time this evening would be Penfield, as UConn came to his backyard. Great seeing him as well. Penfield, what were your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I think selfishly they should have a game in TD Garden every year because through my wife's work, I have a pretty sweet hookup for great tickets, and the VIP parking was exceptional. Getting out of there took about 10 minutes at the most.
Let's talk parking. Hot Balls, how much was that parking?
So you're going to get so mad.
Oh, that's
$40.
not bad.
Oh,
damn it.
I paid $60 for the VIP parking at the Garden.
So Hot Balls parked in the regular garage, and he just had the slip, and it didn't say how much it was. And we were like, this number could be anything.
Oh, yeah, that's dangerous.
No, I thought it was going to be like a buck. I was totally expecting like 120.
Yeah.
Like, no doubt about it. I was thrilled. I was thrilled when I got the final number. It's a win.
Yeah, that's solid. But go ahead, Penfield. Enough about parking.
Yeah. I was going to say, it doesn't matter where we play. There's always a monsoon after the end of the game. That's my first takeaway.
The games in Boston in 24 it rained. Every home game this year it's rained. I feel like we're taking on the Seattle thing a little too much.
Yeah, the drive home was gnarly, but we survived. I don't know. I was kind of half listening, but I don't know if anyone's touched on this, but Silas Demery was pretty amazing tonight. I think we might have a pretty good point guard.
Yeah, he was unbelievable. He was the difference tonight in a lot of ways, and will be the difference when they play St. John's, which is very funny, and I will enjoy that personally.
I didn't hear anything you just said.
I'm just saying he was great. No, he was the difference tonight.
I think, honestly, the thing I take away from he was awesome tonight, like the entire game. But at the end, when they need someone to just create a basket, that is what I feel like this team was missing a lot of last year. And they can just give him the ball, and he's either going to create something for someone else or just get a shot up. So I think that is the biggest takeaway for me. And then the other thing I was kind of interested to see tonight was how Terrace would do against Keita. And we didn't get to see a whole lot of it, but in that first 15 minutes, because Keita is a very athletic, long guy. And I just thought Terrace played very well against him. Kind of definitely outplayed him. So
I think that was a good takeaway. He might be one of the better centers defensively, at least, that we'll see this year. So
Yeah, and before he got hurt, Terrace was eating his lunch, which was
yes,
really shocking. Then he gets hurt, but yeah, to see Terrace, it's one thing to talk about the Revenant and the memes and the Bears and all that, but he showed a level of fire hot balls tonight, the way he was jawing at people and yelling at benches, you can't fake that. I haven't seen that from him before.
and if that's him at 80%, there's going to be a lot of games where they can just rely on him to score. So yeah, I think the whole thing was very promising. Obviously, losing the lead down the stretch wasn't great, but I don't think they're not going to play a lot of guys like AJ DeBanza. So feel very good about the whole thing.
It's November 15th. Get the win. Yeah. You got a 20-point lead for a reason. You can use it to get over the finish line here. It's like the perfect situation because it's a great resume win, but there's also lots of tape that Dan can use to allow them to keep their feet on the ground.
Yeah.
It might actually be the worst. It would have been great tonight, but if they went and they just won by 20, Arizona might have been a harder game because they would have been, reading their own clippings and shit. And that's a really good Arizona team coming in that's played a really tough schedule so far. And they're going to need to be on it for minute one like they had to be tonight. So there can be no misconceptions tonight. They played well enough, but there's also things they need to improve, and I'm excited for it.
And Solo didn't have his best game, but it was a pretty big rebound at the end there when he got fouled. So
it was a huge play. It doubled the lead with a minute and a half to go. That was the other thing. And it's weird because the closest the game gets is at the end with the pointless basket. But when BYU was cutting into it, UConn was doing just enough to push it back away from them. Yeah. And it's a credit to BYU that they kept coming back. It wasn't just a straightforward BYU win on a 25-3 run. They would go on a bit of a run, and then UConn would have an answer for a little bit, and then BYU would have an answer. And when you have a 20-point lead, that's fine.
Yeah, and I'm glad they got tested tonight. I mean, I would have preferred they won by 20. It would have been very fun, and I would have had, then we'd be saying TD Garden Stores North forever. They got to play here all the time. But no, they got tested. They won the game. And that gives me a lot of hope for the season. So,
all right, excellent. Thank you,
Penfield.
Great to see you as always. Beard looked wonderful.
My pleasure.
All right, we'll move through.
Looked very well groomed tonight, by the way. Penfield looked dashing.
Yes, mini Penfield as well.
I knew people would be looking for me, and I knew I'd be on the jumbotron. So.
Oh, your brother, by the way,
that was hilarious.
Did a tremendous job.
Yeah, those BYU fans were pretty annoying, so we got the rest of them.
Yeah, they were doing here's a BYU fan set, which was the loud boo cheer thing tonight because the crowd was so heavy UConn. They showed some BYU fans, and Penfield's older brother decided to just photobomb him with UConn stuff, which was great. So,
thanks, guys.
Thank you. Going to try and clear through the queue here a little bit, so appreciate everyone's patience. Cash fraud, what were your takeaways?
That game should be a reminder that they need to be bulletproof, that Dan's not just blowing smoke up their ass. That they can't, you can't take plays off. You can't, even if you're up 20, you have to bury teams because in the second half you're going to get called for breathing someone else's air.
Yeah, and it's an issue right now with them being a little comparatively shorthanded. That they don't have Furphy, they don't have Mullins, and Terrace. I hope he's fine. It seemed like he was fine, but when he went down, I was in a very bad place emotionally because it didn't look good. And Hopballs was, being the doctor that he is, was convinced it was the hamstring, and it was not the hamstring.
I think he was tired.
What it ended up being his butt.
Yeah, it's Cossacks, I think. It's the rear end. So,
because Dan said he was 80%, and I don't think he was supposed to play 34 minutes tonight.
Yeah, and by the way, and he didn't have a great night at the line. He's not obviously a great free throw shooter, but I'm trying to filter through to confirm something. Terrace to knock down, one of those free throws late there when that's to stretch the lead out a little more after that whole incident. I was really impressed with the toughness he showed all night, but especially there because it didn't look great. And, Hopball's like, they can sub someone else in if he's hurt, but he wanted no part of that. And I give the kid a lot of credit. He wanted the moment and he seized it. So great for him as he continues to just be it totally changes this team having Terrace. It's so the difference is so stark offensively more than defensively, but
Yeah, and I'm totally on board with Hotball's enthusiasm, but for an entirely different reason. Because they should have won this game by 25, and I don't even think they played particularly well. I think they could have rebounded better. They could have shot free throws better, certainly, and even their offensive efficiency numbers were crazy. But I think that they could have been even better. Yeah, but overall, I was really impressed with what they showed a lot about what the team could be when they're really firing on all cylinders tonight. They're going to be a rocket ship.
yeah, it's going to be exciting once they get Braylon back, which sounds sooner rather than later, Hotballs. I don't know about Wednesday.
That seems really premature for me. I think we're going to see him back. Who do we got next? So we got Arizona, and then we got Bryant. Right? Would not be surprised if they do the same thing they did with Terrace, which quick turnaround game on Sunday, maybe test it out. And then that's going to give him a full week to kind of get his sea legs under him, and they roll him out for Illinois.
Yeah, and that's a game where you're gonna need all the weapons. It seems like.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna want to roll him in Kansas. I don't think we're going past East Texas A&M. That's what I'll say. I think he will be absolutely up and ready to go and playing full speed by then. Yeah, I feel confident in saying that.
And it's that's based on what we've heard. I would agree with that. It's a hell of a schedule to get ready for. And listen, it softens up once he gets into conference play. It turns out. So I don't know if we want to dive into the conference, just stepping on every rake possible the last couple of days.
Oh man, dude, this is bad. I don't think our league's ever been. I don't think this conference has ever been this bad.
Let me be positive first. Georgetown, I'm really proud of you. I'm really proud. Georgetown, great win today. Just keep it up. Georgetown looks good.
I was looking at some of the net numbers, projected net numbers yesterday, and they might get depending how the conference tournament goes and who their opponents would be and stuff. They might get one more quad 1 game in conference this year, 5 instead of 6, but they're going to also have 8 quad 3 and 4 games instead of 6, possibly more depending on, again, opponents in conference tournament. So yeah, just more, to use your term, breaks you can't step on.
Yeah. Shaka, how's the portal look now? Any thoughts, Shaka, on the portal? As this Marquette team, which does not play defense, loses today to Maryland.
That injury, did you guys see that? That was terrible. Oh my God. Pharrell Payne, I think, on Maryland, he went up for a dunk and he came down. One leg went out, one leg went forward.
Ugh.
You could he was crying out, writhing in pain on the ground. He had to get stretchered off. It was brutal. So I hope he's okay. I hope he recovers well.
Yeah, it's awful. Marquette loses at home to Buzz Williams. That's just funny to me. So, Buzz goes into Fiserv, gets the win. St. John's pulled away to eventually beat William and Mary very convincingly. What else we got? Butler had a chance to get a really solid win at SMU, let it slip, lose 87-85. Been impressed with the Bulldogs so far, I have to be honest. Expectations were low. Mentioned Georgetown, what they've done. So far, Seton Hall, hey, they haven't played anyone, but they haven't blown their dick off, and that's a huge step forward. Seton Hall's 4-0. They go into playing New Haven on Tuesday. And then there's Providence, Hotballs.
Might be in trouble.
Might be cooked. They're going to have to beat Florida in San Diego.
I mean, they're going to have to beat Wisconsin, and they're going to have to beat Florida, right, on their schedule?
Not Florida. I'm sorry. I
Wisconsin.
I have the wrong team up. Apologies. Well, beat Penn State and Wisconsin, Providence, and then you save a little face, but their defense is a complete joke.
Oh, they're in trouble. I mean, I don't know. They dropped one of the Penn State or Wisconsin games. Like, unless they pull something out of their butt and are able to get 2 or 3 from us in St. John's, they might be done right out of the gate. I don't know how they're going to put a resume together.
Kevin Willard has things going pretty well at Villanova. They got a pretty comfortable win today over Duquesne at home, as they of course have played Big Five. So Villanova looks all right so far. Creighton, after losing by 7,000 at Gonzaga, jumped back on the horse, beating the crap out of Maryland Eastern Shore Friday. I don't know what you take from that. Their focus Creighton-wise is going to be Monday the 24th when they play Baylor in Players Era. So that's kind of their chance to kind of rescue the Gonzaga loss. And then hot balls. There's the bottom 2 teams in the league. I'll let you pick Xavier or DePaul.
I'm going to go and pick DePaul to be the not bottom of the league team.
Okay.
I think Xavier is indescribably bad. I think Xavier might be DePaul bad from a couple of years ago. They've got a real shot. They're so undersized everywhere. I mean, they got manhandled by Santa Clara. Like, not just got run off the court, got beat up by Santa Clara. They're 109th in Ken Palm right now. I fully expect them to completely careen into oblivion.
Bennett Sturts did not hit a 3 against Xavier, and Iowa still won by 19. So, not great. And then the DePaul thing last night, that's just a heartbreaker. That would have been such a big win for them to get. The city rivalry with Northwestern, and it would have made up almost for losing to George fucking Halkovich, which they somehow did on Tuesday, to lose to an indescribable. Buffalo is so bad.
What is up with Iowa not starting Alvaro Folgueras? Wasn't he like the belle of the ball of the transfer portal?
No, Bennett Sturts was the belle of the ball in the transfer portal.
There was no one. He didn't really have a shot at getting him. So
yeah, it's a little strange. They're off to the 3-0 start under McCollum, and we'll see. They don't play. Iowa doesn't play, and I'm including Xavier. They don't play a team with a fucking pulse until they play the Iowa State game on December 11th. So I wouldn't. Oh wait, hold on. I overshot it here. They do have Ole Miss. They also have Michigan State on the road. So we'll see as the Big Ten plays indescribably early games now. Yeah, it's weird, but they've got a great coach. They'll probably figure it out. I don't think that Xavier or DePaul are figuring it out.
They probably just want to hide him a little bit and keep him for an extra year.
Probably. Be a good plan. Thank you, Cashflow. I'm going to bounce around to some folks that are patient. Enough about the Big East, which is just awful right now, unfortunately. Sam Fetterman, you've been very patient. Got to see you up in the 300s tonight. What were your takeaways? If you want to pop yourself off mute. I know I kind of caught you cold there.
Sam going once, going twice.
Sam is watching the replay of Quinnipiac Iona. So we'll get back to Sam.
Probably. Move on down the list here.
Oh, should we let him out of the cage or no? No, we can wait. Disciple of Rock, you've been very patient. What were your takeaways this evening?
Well, if we're complaining about what we did wrong against a top 10 team, I think that's a very, very nice place to be.
I would agree.
And look, with how bad the Big East is going to be, a quad 1 win is a quad 1 win at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's going to be, I hope BYU wins out. You want them to go and make that win look as good as it can.
And I think for the people, this is probably more of the football part of me, but look, for all the people saying, they don't want to leave the Big East, not sure about the Big 12. I don't know. I think this proves that we would really want to be in the Big 12 because these are the games we would be playing a lot of consistently every year.
Yeah, the thing is the Big 12 doesn't want to go to 20 teams. So like that's my thing on it is like they don't want to go to 20 teams and the ACC doesn't. So there's nothing to really talk about. I'm not disputing that it'd be a better league. It's like saying if UConn went to the SEC it'd be better. Yeah, but it's not going to happen. So let's just beat the crap out of this league while we're in it, I guess.
To me, it stinks for the leagues though, because now you can get an East Coast market at MSG and Madison Square Garden. And look, like I know it was, from what everyone was saying, it's mostly a UConn crowd, but watching on TV, there was some BYU fans there.
Oh yeah, no, they had a lot of fans there. All things considered, also on a football Saturday for them. That's always been BYU's always been one of those programs that travels no matter where they play the game.
We have a very underrated fan base in terms of like the volume of people. I mean, they're all over the country. I was shocked. I remember maybe I brought this up last Spaces. I went to go see them play UMass like 10 years ago. They played at the Mass Mutual Center. Sold it out. This was when Chaz Williams was there. And that arena was 35-40% BYU fans. Packed out. So, I mean, they've always traveled really well. So I wasn't surprised to see them. And I wouldn't say in abundance, but, I thought they had a solid 20% of the crowd tonight, which is good.
Yeah, no, made it for a hot crowd. The first 10 minutes before it tipped to the first 10 minutes of the game, that was an extremely hot crowd. I'll say this, when they play in Boston, man, I know how much it means to people like Penfield who are up here and Mac and the fans who are up here, they've been waiting so long. UConn never played up here and now they've played in 24 and tonight they don't leave anything on the sidelines. They empty the tank. So a hearty congratulations to them. I want to shout out the UConn students too, who filled up. There was a student section behind the basket. The band was up here. So it's cool that UConn's got this option as well. I know they're trying to branch out the money-making operations, and that's what tonight was to some degree. And they're doing it with the Illinois game in a couple weeks at MSG. But if UConn now has the ability to come up here and make a whole bag of cash for an game, I'd love it to be at Gamble or Hartford, but I also know what year this is. So I wouldn't be surprised that I definitely think UConn's going to try and utilize this more often.
I'm all for more games in Boston. I think it's kind of a nice thing to have. I think it's a nice, oh my God, I am so cooked right now. I'm so tired, so stressed out.
We don't have to go. We don't have to go that much
carrot
longer.
On a stick. That's what I meant to say. It's a nice carrot on a stick. Bring somebody in for a quasi-neutral site that's really a home game. Mm-hmm. Kind of thing to have on the schedule every night. And the crowd's always hot there. Everybody's very lubed up tonight. This is a very drunk crowd.
Shout out to everyone at Big Night Live. The pregame was great. Josh Prue, the whole alumni association thing there. And that does, I think, a really good job of priming the 500 psychopaths and then setting them off into the TD Garden concourse. It's a beautiful thing. Thank you, Disciple of Rock. Appreciate it. Just going down the line here. Jungle Husky, you've been very patient. What were your thoughts on tonight's game?
Yeah, so it was fun, and then a little bit less fun, and then we held on, and that's what you want to see out of a early season non-conference against a top 10 opponent. And I kind of think that the first half, when we basically had BYU in a blender, and then the part where we had the 20-point lead that we started to give away, there's a little bit of relation in that, like where like Hurley's philosophy is very aggressive on defense, so that can you see the bright side of that, which is all of the stops we got in the first half and going to the floor and causing turnovers and causing havoc, and then the downside of that is you got fouls calling you when you're aggressive, and then you have to pull it back a little bit when guys start getting 3 or 4 fouls. But yeah, the makeup of this team with Silas and Alex in particular, I think, was the leadership and experience. Probably helped us out a lot. And the other part of that lead kind of getting cut down, some of it's just bounces. Like I think there was a particular stretch. There's something like 3 out of 4 or 4 out of 5 offensive possessions. We got some, pretty good looks, and they just didn't go in, and we weren't crashing the glass, so we could get back on defense. But that's the kind of thing where, a butterfly starts flapping its wings, and then luckily in the end it didn't result in a hurricane or whatever. We had the leadership, and then you got, like, guys mentioned Silas going to the line. He was 8 for 11, and that's really valuable to have in your point guard leader. So those are kind of my observations. Oh, and the other thing was, like, I thought Terrace was still hurting, like, throughout most of the second half. And so I don't know what that. I don't think it was the hamstring. I don't know. So hopefully that's
the play
not
where he went
compounded.
down hard was pretty late in the game.
Mm.
So I'm not sure. He might have he expended a lot of energy emotionally as well as playing in the first half. Maybe that played a role. There's no Samson this year, right? Like, Eric Ryba's looked good so far, but I don't think Eric Ryba's playing 20 minutes a game here. So Terrace has got to adjust to playing like 30 minutes a game, and it'll take time.
Mm-hmm.
But
every time he touched the ball, BYU sent 3 guys to go bear hug him. So that's pretty taxing.
Around the shoulders,
Yeah.
I'm sure he was exhausted.
Thank you, Jungle Husky. Appreciate it.
And I just wanted to also shout out all the other UConn Road Warriors. So, I'm in Massachusetts. I made the trip down to East Hartford and saw our 6-0 home record at Rentschler, and then drove back up. So I didn't make the pregame at Big Night, but yeah, it was a great day, a fun day, and I hope we get more of these.
Absolutely, yeah. And shouts to the football team, finished an undefeated season at home today, beating Air Force. So that was a lot of fun. And the hockey team had a great comeback, which I appreciated when I found out about it after the fact. So thank you, Jungle Husky. Appreciate you. I'm just going to cycle through folks. Saul Petalberg, you've been very patient. You had your hand up. Spew your filth.
I cannot imagine flying in from Utah for that shit. I'm not going to lie to you.
Which part specifically?
Just a 30-minute shit dude. The BYU family in front of me had nothing but tablet children, and they're just sitting there for like 30 minutes of just a shit fest of their team getting its ass kicked. The parents are just feeding each other ice cream because this is some date night now, and they're married, so they're allowed to have children. And then all of a sudden, it's a ball game now, and now they're pissed because all the UConn fans around them are drunk and swearing in front of their Mormon children. So there was that. But a couple quick thoughts for you guys. Number one, the crowd was electric. One of the best crowds I've been in recent years. Number two, this team, when it's on, could absolutely be a buzzsaw. I mean, this game did not feel in doubt until really ever, but it really did not feel like it was that close, even when it was getting to like 5 points late in the game. And I'm fully bought into the narrative of if either Stewart or Ross makes an impact on the offensive end, there's a good chance they're going to win the game because they both play good defense. But shout out to Jaden Ross tonight. But yeah, that's really it. And I'll leave you guys with this. If anybody wants to get together for the Seton Hall game on Tuesday night, who are they playing, Hurley Mania?
Tuesday night, they are playing the Pride of New Haven.
Who the fuck are they playing?
They're playing the Pride of New Haven, the only program that matters in Southern Connecticut. The New
Uh-huh.
Haven.
Uh-huh.
You want to talk your shit about
Tell
UNH? Go
that
ahead.
to Scott Burrell.
Talk your shit. Talk your shit. I love this. You despise New Haven.
Dude, it is. When I started tweeting that, first of all, I was in Europe when I was tweeting that, so like everything was all delayed, and I was getting like Twitter notifications in the middle of the night. But I had like students who were like coming at me, being like, why are you? We just got D1. Why are you saying this?" I had parents and alumni being like, "Yeah, I mean, we just made some payments, so I mean, this is a weird flex, but I guess we feel where you're coming from." No,
Did you
fuck that
appreciate?
school.
Did you appreciate that I immediately picked out it was a Southern Connecticut State University thing? Saw that shit coming a
That's
mile
how
away.
you know. That's how you know college athletics killed the greatest rivalry the state of Connecticut has ever seen, and that's the Elm City rivalry.
Listen,
Hell hath no fury like an owl scorned.
they will be making up for it with their close personal friends in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, where they have become the first American university to establish a branch campus.
Inshallah, Chargers, baby. Good night, everybody.
Good night, Saul. Thank you. Wow, there's a line I didn't think we were getting tonight. Oh, hot balls. I know it's late.
It's time.
Should we let's let Happy Rat out of his cage?
Happy Rat, how are you?
Inshallah, brothers.
Jesus.
Is it too much to go with Stylist the Virus? Is that because that's a great nickname, but it's also there's like a connotation that's like, not great.
I'm torn because it is a really good nickname, but I don't feel comfortable saying it.
It's very bad, but it's also very
That could be
good.
a better one.
Like we really have to own it big time. Otherwise, there's a lot of bad connotations there. Like truly outrageous connotations. I didn't think I'd get past that.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
I'm sorry. What do you think?
No.
You're a big fan of it?
Did Rothstein tweet out Silas the Virus?
Yeah.
No, he didn't. That's not. He didn't trademark it. He trademarked everything first.
He tweeted it out. I don't know if he trademarked
First of all,
it. He tweeted it out.
John Rothstein may have literally trademarked it. Do not that he didn't. There is history.
That's actually a fair point. He probably did trademark it while he was eating dinner at Rosato's on 84th and 2nd.
And I'm sure that Silas, like everybody else with his nicknames, will be receiving no compensation.
I also don't think there's a lot of people named Silas that are like out there looking for that nickname. So it seems like a small group of people, like one, maybe two. Anyway,
I'm down to get infected.
That is not remotely where this was. Oh my! Hell yeah!
Time to get infected.
What the? Okay. So anyway, get your shot sponsored by the stadium tomorrow, or don't, whatever. What do I have here? We have someone complained about us being good, like we weren't good enough. Like, oh no, like we were up 20, that we only won by, like, yeah, you know what's pretty cool? Winning and being in this position. It's like the coolest thing ever, and everyone else is very jealous of it. Especially these Mormons who can throw money, like they just throw a dog on top of the car, drive across the country, lose a presidential race, throw more money at a quarterback or something, then get AJ Dispenza, still can't win. Don't ever complain about being really good at basketball. Like what?
I wasn't complaining. I said that. I was saying that was reason to be even more optimistic because I didn't think that UConn even played their A game and they were up by 20.
And who's throwing dogs on cars? What are we doing?
I'm pretty sure that was Mitt Romney.
Mitt Romney.
Thank you, Mitt Romney.
But no, don't thank Mitt Romney. Like, feel bad for the dogs. Also, the Big East. Oh my God, this might be the worst conference since the Pac-12 isn't a real conference in college football. They might be better than the Big East.
We've got some American Conference vibes going right now.
No, oh god damn, that sounds so bad.
Well, I mean, one of the best looking teams so far lost a game at SMU, so here we are.
Well, yeah, but I guess there's not a lot I can say against that. Could Shaka just get a transfer? Like, you think he could hit the portal? It's not like Marquette's standards are that high. Like, oh no, he couldn't get an A in biology here in Marquette, so we can't take him. Like,
Yeah, hot balls. I'm starting to think that Shaka is going to be Mr. Transfer Portal in about 5 months.
Might have to be.
but would they care up there in the middle of nowhere hockey country?
Oh, they would. They have a lot of money for NIL that they spend on the players they have to come back, and they have great support. Like, that's why the whole thing upset me. If, like, Butler had decided this tack, or DePaul, I'd be like, oh, well, yeah, Buddy's tight also, but you don't want to say that. Like, Marquette's fucking loaded, and they have a good coach and a great fan base.
Well, they have a decent coach. Has he ever really won anything big with like a team that he put together that didn't like have a gimmicky press all day sort of thing? They ever really gone wire to wire?
I mean, he did go to the Final Four.
I believe that was in 2011.
It was a long time ago, but he did build that team.
Yeah, who won the title that year?
The UConn Huskies.
Oh my goodness! Thank you for refreshing my memory.
Who were led by the best player in the country that year, no matter what our opponents tonight may think.
You mean it wasn't
Jimmer Fredette jersey? I saw somebody in Jimmer Fredette jersey in the balcony, and I got pissed off. I would like the fucking Player of the Year trophy. He can mail it to stores.
Yeah. Does anyone really, like, everyone knows Kimball is way better than him, like, by an order of magnitude. The bell curve doesn't even come close. You know, Jimmer was in the fat part of the bell curve. Kimball was in the other part. Like, yeah, what are we really worried about these Mormons with their ridiculous book? They just walked a long way and, like, came with a whole new hymnal. I don't, like, yeah. Fine. They give them a little Player of the Year or whatever fake shit they get.
Hot balls. I'm stunned he went after the book and not the underpants thing or the caffeine or the beer. I'm shocked. This was like plus 1,400.
What?
In terms of things that I thought you would say inappropriate towards Mormons, I didn't think the book was going to be where you went, but.
Well, they had a kid get a DUI at 11:45 in the morning the other day. So, like, all bets are off with them. Like,
yeah, that was interesting because he was at the practice at 9 a.m.
It must have been a tough practice.
I'm not sure it was booze. I'll leave it.
What else? Oh,
we'll see.
He was high in the Lord.
I mean, first of all, you got weed in Utah. That's the next level because that's hard. But yeah, we'll see. And it's not our problem. And now they've got to, move on and figure out their lineup going forward. BYU from here. I'm going to pull up their schedule because they're obviously also playing a really difficult non-conference schedule. They are playing. They play Wisconsin on Friday in Salt Lake City. Then they are playing Miami in. They're in one of the tournaments that's down at Walt Disney World. And then we will see them very soon again. They're the other half of the Jimmy V Classic on December 9th. They play Clemson. So, yeah, Kevin Young and them, that's a tough loss for them tonight, but they'll be better for it, I think, in the long run. And unlike UConn, they go into a league that actually is going to test them. So,
the last thing, because I have to, you all need me out of here. This is a title quality team. This team has the shit that you need to get through 6 games against the toughest teams in the country. It's very fun to be a UConn fan because most other schools, they don't have any idea what that actually looks like because they've never done it. I'm pretty sure this is a title caliber team. Not that they'll win it.
Yeah, it feels that way. And hot balls, if they can pull it off Wednesday night, we get to start having some fun conversations. They're still gonna. I think they're gonna take a couple losses in this non-conference gauntlet, and you don't want that, but they're gonna be all right. But if they could start off 2-0, man, with two of the three best opponents they'll play in that gauntlet, that's a pretty good place to be.
Yeah, I mean, right now you're looking at walking away on the Ken Palm computer screen here. They're looking at. I'm just trying to find Texas. Texas 41, BYU 16, Arizona is 11 currently. Florida is 10. Illinois is ahead of us by a spot. It's 6. And then obviously they got Kansas mixed in there. You're likely looking at 4 to 5 top 20 wins in there. I'll be fine with them at 4-2.
Is Illinois not going to have any problems with immigration? With that whole their entire team is from Serbia?
No,
or
they're Eastern
Croatia?
Europeans. This administration likes those folks.
Okay.
So
God damn! I'm such an idiot. Sorry.
No, it was a very fair question. They looked so good, but if UConn can, and it's a big ask, if UConn can get Arizona in the Illinois game, I'm going out to Kansas. I'd love to get a win, but if they lose, I'm going to be fine. They're going to be in a really good spot. If UConn can hold serve in the home games, and now they have a neutral site with BYU, if they can just pick Illinois or Florida, then you're gravy. Then that's a really, really impressive schedule going into the conference play where, I think the bar to win the league is probably 14, 15 wins with respect to St. John's. I think UConn and St. John's are just going to lap the field. It looks that way.
Yeah. I'm not as hot to trot on St. John's as some others are, but I definitely think they're like a slam dunk to us right now. I think there's us a gap. St. John's a much bigger gap. I don't know. I mean, just pick your poison of fucking whatever. Georgetown really looks like the third best team in the league right now. Creighton looked helpless against Gonzaga the other night.
I don't know if they're a lock, though.
What's that?
I don't know if they're necessarily a lock for second, though. Do you think they're a lock for second or first?
Who, St. John?
Yeah.
I would err there right now. I just Creighton's move is so middling. Georgetown surprised me, but I don't want to get carried away with it. Georgetown surprising me in the sense that I thought they were going to be like a 7, 8, 9 team. I think they're closer to a 3, 4, 5 team.
Oh.
And then I think we've got Providence is going to suck. I was kind of a little hopeful there, and I think Villanova is going to be a little bit better than expected too.
You don't like St. John's point guard?
I love who they wanted at point guard, even though they won't admit it. That would be Silas DeMurray Jr.
Oh, the virus.
I think he's looking. God damn it.
Hey, we have a highway in Connecticut that's just begging to be renamed to the virus if we win it all this year.
But yeah, I mean, I think, they beat Arizona to me. I think that really is, it's going to be a real notch in their belt. I'm going to be interested to see what this team's ceiling looks like when they get Mullins back, and what impact that's going to have on honestly Alex, Solo. They're also having a measure of success right now, and they're getting a lot of attention on the perimeter. And now you're rolling the 4 of them out there: Silas, Braylon, Alex, Solo, and Terrace down low. That is just a lot of places you got to be worrying about and looking to try to prevent offense. It's just really going to be the defensive progression, and can they keep things moving in the direction that they're currently moving? And I think if the answer to that's yes, I think they're going to be very difficult to beat. I think if the two linchpins, I'm not too worried about the ceiling of this team offensively, but the 2 linchpins where we could go from being good to terrifying are if Stewie and Jaden Ross figure it out consistently. We're going to be a real load if that comes along. But like I said, I like where we're at right now. I think we're ahead of schedule on any number of things, and we're banged up. Like I said, if they can collect some wins here, shorthanded against Arizona, they're able to go pick off Illinois. Like I think to get the next two, of Arizona and Illinois, I think it just takes all the pressure off, at least for me, the Florida, Kansas, Texas games. But I think they're going to handle Texas pretty easily. I was not blown away by
Yeah,
them.
I'm almost like nervous for Texas simply because I think that's going to be such like they're not in the stratosphere of these other teams. But it's an 8 p.m. Friday night, so that'll be a fun crowd, much like tonight. And we're on Hot Balls to Wednesday night. Will you be?
We got one. We got one more on the queue.
Oh,
here,
we do. Go
I
ahead.
think.
Oh, I see who it is. This will be fun.
Yeah, Boston Hemp. What do you got for us, brother? Thank you for being patient. Really patient. Extremely patient. More patient than everybody else, actually.
Gentlemen, how we doing?
We're in good shape for the shape that we're in.
Doing good, man. I had a couple edibles tonight. I went to the Encore Casino, and there were a lot of legendary UConn jerseys there. And it was just a nice little refresher because I took my talents I've been a UConn fan. I'm not an alumni. I'll be straight up forward, but my youth coach turned me on to the Chris Smith team from the early 90s. We went to the greatest bar, and I've never seen a bar, excuse my language, so filled with UConn fans in my life, and it carried over. I am also a season ticket holder of the Celtics. Stores North is a real thing, and I think the difference with this team is the depth that Dan Hurley has created between Solo, Terrace, and Caravan, and then you bring in Silas with Jay Stu and Mr. Ross, and then you bring in Malachi. It's just a lot deeper than last year's team, which was right there with Florida. You missed some open threes, the offense, and Luke Murray ran a great set of plays, and we had open shots. Things didn't fall our way. But there's just a lot of big upside with this team, and we still don't have, Mr. Mullins, who is right there, coming back hopefully soon. And it's a very nice spot to be, which, me and my crew, I have a lot of Husky fans since, like I said, mid 90s, and we are very excited to see what we got going on. But the depth that Hurley has created is a real big thing going forward to the Shakes. You're not depending on one guy, two guys, three guys. You can get it from 5, 6, 7 guys at this point, and it's very exciting to watch.
No, I agree, Boston. Thank you. That was a tremendous contribution to the show. And I didn't go to UConn. It's fine. Hot Balls didn't either. I did. I'm Big Ten. Anybody who wants to bleed blue, I'm letting everybody in. And tonight was kind of a show of that because I've been very fortunate to go tonight into the East Regional 24 and to see the way that all the UConn fans up here have turned out, having waited so long for games. It's really impressive and loud, passionate, into it. Aggressive in the best way, in the best Boston sports fan tradition. Very aggressive. So appreciate you. Appreciate everybody that came out tonight. It was really impressive to see because they do have I do think this team, I think they've got the roster that can do it. Having the roster and doing it are two different things, but tonight allowed us to see how this roster looks against elite high major competition, and they passed the test. And they get to get thrown into another exam Wednesday night, Hot Balls, because holy shit, does that team look terrifying. So,
yeah, I don't know who's guarding Code Pete.
Hang on. It's kind of what I told you pregame with the Debanza thing is like, if he gets his 30 and they've got other options, but like they're going to need they need another 50. So, Co is going to be a load Wednesday night in Gamble on $2 beer night. That is terrifying.
Diabolical.
I am off Wednesday and Thursday. I'm taking no chances. I'm not a drinker, but I think that I might I don't know if we're going to be allowed out of the building. So
No, you might get to Postradamus levels that we're going to do. We're going to have to cart you around in a wheelbarrow.
I won't, but I think everybody else might be. So I might have to give a statement as a witness to whatever occurs for somebody. So I'm taking no chances. Will you be in the building Wednesday? I don't think so, right?
I am 50-50 for Wednesday. I am absolutely a go for Florida, Texas, Kansas. Spent a lot of money.
I know, and now you and I tonight, we had the talk.
Non-conference schedule.
We had the talk tonight because it was like that Illinois game was that one we were going to skip, and it might be the best game.
Yeah, it might be. I'm buying Illinois. I hate that. So perturbed that we're letting them even sniff the stink off the shit off the bottom of our shoes after what we did to them last time.
Yeah, that was part of why I'm skipping it. It was like, I've seen the best that can look. Like, I don't need to. And now they might be a top 5 team. So, I don't know.
The Gopniks. The Illinois Fighting Gopniks.
So many tracks. It's so little time. They look great. But Wednesday night,
I like it that
Hop-Ball.
they've leaned into it though. Like I kind of love that.
Oh yeah,
That's
no,
the
full.
whole
I love full respect. They've completely embraced it. Yeah. But Wednesday night, Gamble Pavilion, shit show central. $2 beer night. Arizona darkens the doors of Gamble for the first time since 2001 when Lauren Woods absolutely goaltended. Absolutely. No dispute.
The most normal finish to a game ever.
The first time the court was ever stormed at Gamble Pavilion, kiddos, it has happened. And it was 2 years after a national championship. Not a great look, I'll admit. But it was a weird year. Is when Tommy Lloyd and Mr. Hopball's Arizona Wildcats come to Gamble Pavilion. You have to be there. You can't not be there.
I know. I feel like I'm the guy that of anybody in this fan base should be there. Because I've lost so much money betting on them over the years. So much money.
Oh, if you think you've lost money betting on them, wait till you see what the secondary market looks like to attend the game.
Huh.
I'm actually going to pull it up live because I'm a little curious.
I'm doing it right now. Oh, for the love of fucking Christ. Oh, it's not that bad.
You can get it for $100.
It literally, I just pulled the thing up and it was like $98, and then as the pages roll is loading, $125. One of you sons of bitches just went in.
They add the fees in for you. Is that why?
No.
Never let your enemies know your next move.
Go ahead, Cashro.
I was just telling him, never let your enemies know your next move.
You're going to have to open an OnlyFans.
Oh.
You always have that option in life.
I thought I was already sick.
Yeah. That's what we could do. Hot Balls OnlyFans.
Oh, no.
Everybody should have
Presented by Store Central. I should also start out. Yeah, I was going to say, I forgot to, and I saw Teddy tonight, who's wonderful with Martin Russell. Hot Balls, please do the ad read for Martin Russell's because I didn't do it when I did the Wiener Weiner line.
You're a mess tonight. I'm never letting you produce again. It's always got to be me.
You did the show while driving illegally. So
I did. I did the show while driving illegally in a monsoon. I put my life on the line. I entrusted you with the responsibilities. And, if it's not your internet, it's just you.
Felt.
Hot dog, the UConn Husky season is here, and the good folks at Martin Roll Souls are here to keep you fueled so you can keep foot on gas throughout the year. Hot dogs, kielbasa, sausages, deli meats, you name it. Not only can you grab what you need for the big game at their retail store at 45 Grove Street, New Britain, they'll even bring the meats to you and ship them across the country. That's Martin Roll Souls, the official sponsor of the Connecticut Basketball Spaces Wiener Weiner line. There.
That felt oddly personal, but fair enough.
That's what responsibility sounds like.
It sounds like being in a submarine going down the Mass Pike.
You ditched your wife and your kid tonight.
All right.
You didn't hit record. You're just lollygagging out there. Just coasting through life.
I can't tell if I'm being coached here or if I'm being assaulted.
A little of both, all right?
Probably both.
There's a difference.
All right. Well, I think we have no one else in the queue. Do you think that's a good place to call it or no? Or I know
it is 1:06 in the morning.
Yes.
This is a show. This was a real show.
We got 2 hours out of it. The audio quality is dog shit, and we were underwater, but we got there. Much like
We
the
got
UConn
2 hours
Huskies.
of content out, half of which it sounded like we were in a submarine. I almost died. I saw 3 car accidents.
I didn't record the intro, but
You're in
thankfully
a
I
person's
remembered.
house somewhere. You're just sitting in their house doing this.
Yeah,
Could
my
be
former
anywhere.
roommate in Melrose here. But yeah, and thankfully I realized 5 minutes in I wasn't recording, because if I realized that now, I would have gone and walked into the lake right in front of me for one of the biggest shows of the year. But like the UConn Huskies tonight, we figured it out in the end. Hot balls.
Yeah. This show threw a
86-84.
lot of different looks at us, you know. It almost got us, but we held it off in the end.
This microphone was our high flash transfer. I'm going to name this microphone Silas DeMurray Sr. That's what I'm going to do. This is senior. He's junior. It's perfect. But we'll be back with you folks Wednesday night after God knows what debauchery goes down at Gamble Pavilion for $2 beer night and Mr. Hotball's Final Four pick, the Arizona Wildcats. That's awesome that game's happening. And credit to both coaches for putting it together. And I can't wait for it. And the grind never ends, folks. I mean, next Sunday night against Bryant, it's going to be like taking off tight shoes compared to what we're going through here. But great win tonight for the Huskies. Start to build the non-conference resume up. They're going to have to do it because this conference isn't going to fucking help them. So a great win tonight in Boston. Shout out to everybody we got to interact with. It was really cool seeing everyone at Big Night Live. Posty was upright and still is, apparently. I'll be honest, disappointing. But great to see everybody at TD Garden, and it's back to the home confines Wednesday night. We'll be live, God knows what time. I got to drive back from Gamble, and that's like the 15th biggest concern I have for that game. Coach Pete comes to Stores. And for Jaden Ross and Jalen Stewart, if you thought tonight was a hard defensive matchup, it's not getting any easier. So
Only going to get worse from here. But let's keep expectations balanced. I think we should just go undefeated.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, let's make it like 2023 where you and I were like, well, I hope they get a game in Portland. And then they got all of them. And so, yeah let's try and win all of them.
They're going to need Jaden Ross to not fall out in 12 minutes.
He gave them so much otherwise. And he
was great.
He is a lethal 3-point shooter. Lethal. Hell yeah. It's Jaden Ross time.
Him and Jalen were both great.
Hot balls. I was right. That's what matters.
Shameless. All right, we're going to see everybody on Wednesday night. I haven't checked the weather. Maybe we won't get rained on after the game.
That's a good question.
Or maybe this is just what it's going to be. We're just going to get rained on until it's snow.
Oh, God. It's going to be monsoons every game. Hey, if they go undefeated, I'll take it. So
yeah, I love this. This is my kind of weather.
Gray, 45, and pouring.
Oh, nothing's better. The air is so clean. There's just something about sleeping in on those days. It's raining out.
Someday.
Earthy undertone. The air is clean, cool, coursing through your lungs. Makes you feel rejuvenated. Like you want to get out there and roll around with the Wildcats. This is what we're going to do on Wednesday night. We'll be back with you guys after then, sounding a lot better, mind you. Today was pretty ramshackle. We didn't really know what we wanted to do for the show. So thank you, everybody, for your patience. And you're welcome for our shenanigans, and we will see you again on Wednesday as UConn takes on the Arizona Wild Craps. Until then, everybody, you know the deal. Keep in touch with yourselves, everybody. Good night.